Welcome to Stamp It Up with Kathy Goodman. We are making a card using the Make a Splash Host stamp set from Stampin' Up. We are going to make this card right here. It says, thanks for making me smile today. And on the inside, we just have a little fish and some little bit of designer series paper to finish it off. Okay, for our fish bowl, what we're going to do is we're going to open up our basic gray stamp ink, and we are going to stamp our fish bowl, and it's a photopolymer stamp, so you can see through it, and that helps very much with the placement. On this one, we're just going to stamp it on a scratch piece of paper, and we're going to actually cut it out. So we don't have to be super precise on doing that part. So what you want to do once you've stamped it is we're going to take and close up our ink so we don't get our fingers in it. We're going to cut this out, and what you'll do is you'll just start and go around it very carefully. And I'm using my finger underneath my scissor blade to help guide me, and then I'm actually not turning my scissors, I am turning the paper with my left hand. This gives you more control and helps you to get a nicer, what they call a fussy cut image. Okay, so now we got that all done. We can set that aside. On this stamp set, we're going to stamp the fish in Calypso Coral. So we're opening that ink up. We're going to stamp this fish first, and we're going to do it on this side right over here. And we're going to place the fish right about here. Stamp, press down. We also want to stamp this same fish on a Post-it note. The sticky part of the Post-it note is at the top, so we want to get this fish so the sticky part will, we can cut it out, and we're going to use this as what they call a mask to go over the top of our fish, so we can put the seaweed greenery in the fish tank. So we're going to do this one. We're going to stamp that one off, and then we'll stamp it on here so it's just a little bit lighter color than the other fish, but it's still in the Calypso Coral, so it's a second generation stamp instead of a first. Okay, then we're going to take our scissors and we are going to cut out our little fish that we stamped on our Post-it note. We're just going to, you don't have to be precise about the top portion of this fish, it's the bottom portion that we want really to get pretty precise, because we're going to make it look like the fish is swimming in the forefront of the greenery. So we're going to cut around the fish's body right here. Just add, there we go. So we've got something that looks like this. We're going to place that mask over the top of the fish that we stamped in our fish bowl. We're going to press that down, and we're going to cut the other fish out And let's see, we've got to be precise on the lower portion, which is this right here. So get kind of close as you can, but there we go. So we got this all lined up. And then we're going to take and cut the tail right here. And just go around this portion. There we go. Okay, now we're going to place this mask on top of this fish right here. So we got that all done. And we are going to add our little gravel in the bottom of our fish bowl. So let me get my gravel stamp out of this set. I forgot to get that earlier. Okay, so we're going to get the gravel out, and we're going to use soft suede to put our gravel in the bottom of our fish bowl. So let's get that ink out. We'll set that right here. Okay, so we've got this, and I'm going to use the scratch paper that we used for our post-it note for cutting out our mask for our fish, and I'm going to stamp this off once, and then I'm going to put this in the bottom of our fish bowl. So it's clear stamp, so you can line it up, press down firmly, and then lift it off. And we've got our gravel in the bottom of our fish bowl. We can set that aside. While we are done with our soft suede ink now, so we can close that up. While we have our Calypso Coral open, let's get our tag for the front of our card. It says, "Thanks for making me smile today." So we're going to stamp that in Calypso Coral ink. So you want to line it up in the center, press down firmly, and hold it for a moment, and then gently pull that off. There we go. We got that all stamped. We can set that aside. Now what we're going to do is we're all done with our, well, we're almost done with our Calypso Coral. We'll set it aside for a while, and we'll do the inside in a minute. Okay. So let's get our green, and we're going to stamp the seaweed in the bottom of the fish bowl. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to line it up right about here and stamp it right over the top of our mask. And then we're going to stamp it again right next to it, so it's a lighter color of green. There we go. And we're using Granny Apple Green for this. We're going to stamp our next, and then stamp this again. So each time we stamp it, we're stamping one time with full color, and the next image is a stamped off image. So it's a lighter green. Makes you have two different colors in your fish bowl. Turns out kind of cool. Okay, now that we've got that done, we can take our mask off of our fish bowl so we can reveal the outcome. So we can set those aside. You can actually reuse those, so you might want to set that inside your stamp case. Okay, so we got our fish bowl done. Let's add our little bubbles, and I'm going to use some Pool Party for that, and we'll just add the bubbles. Let's see here. There we go. We're going to add that to a, this is going to give us a, we're going to actually put sequins over the top of those, but that'll give us an idea of where we need to place them. Okay, there we got it. We got that all done. So let's go ahead and stamp the inside of our card. And on the inside of our card, we're going to stamp the seaweed, and let's get that right here. We're gonna do it right about here. I want to leave room for our designer series paper that we're going to put across the bottom, and then we're going to stamp our fish on the inside in the Calypso coral. So we'll open that, and we've got that fish right here, and we're going to put the fish right about here. Press down firmly, lift it off. And we can close up our Calypso coral ink. We can get our liquid glue out, and we can put a small bead of glue on our designer series paper. And this is Granny Apple Green designer series paper. Whoops, I cut that a little bit short. I'm gonna have to get another one. Let's see here. Let's try this one. There we go. I think this one is going to be better. Yeah, looks like it's long enough. Okay, try this again. There we go. So we got this right across the bottom. And we're going to make sure it's even on both sides. Press that down. And then we can put glue around our outside edge. We're just going to go all the way around, put a thin bead of glue, and then we're going to add this to the inside of our card, and our inside will be all completed. We got that in. You want to press firmly where we've adhered the glue to make sure it sticks to the inside of the card. Now we're going to take and put our fishbowl on the front of our card. So we're going to take a small bead of glue and put it around the outside. You don't want to get too much glue if you're using liquid glue, because it will make your paper wrinkle. So we're going to add that right about there. And then for Thanks for Making Me Smile, I have a little bit of the Granny Apple Green paper that we're going to cut in half, and we're going to put a little bit on each end of our greeting, just to add just a tiny bit of color. So I match it up, kind of center it, and there you go. You got that on that side, and then we're going to add this one on the other side. And on the gingham, it's really easy just to count how many of these that you have showing and make sure you do the same on both sides. So the light and the dark little gingham print. Okay, and then we're going to add some liquid glue, and we're going to put this across our card right here. Press it down firmly. Okay, now we can add our sequins. We're going to get some small sequins, and what we'll do is we'll put a dot of glue on each of these bubbles, and we'll add our sequins. So we'll get, let's see, let's do this one right here. Just make so you can see the little fish bubbles. We'll add this little tiny one right there. Okay, now on this one, We'll do this color right here. A little bit darker right there. And you're just putting them over the top of the bead of glue, and then just press down firmly and let it set for a few moments, and it will so here you see this one I did not add the sequins. This was my original sample. That's the inside, and this one we added sequins, just adds a little bit of extra bling to it. Thank you very much for watching Stamp It Up with Kathy Goodman. If you have any questions, you can email me at klgoodman007@gmail.com. Have a blessed day.